All right, old school NBA fans, self-researched NBA facts. Got another video for you. As always, I just want to say thanks to anybody who watches my videos, subscribes to my channel. I really appreciate it very much. First, I want to say I got my championship belt from Michael Jordan Fans Are the Best. It says, Michael Jordan Fans Are the Best Summer Debate League Champion. Anyway, if anybody wants to check that out, it's on Dart's channel. Michael Jordan Fans Are the Best. The debate was about 3 weeks ago, give or take. I was debating the 1972 Lakers versus the 1987 Lakers. If anybody, wants to check it out. Anyway, it was a debate that the league lasted a while, a couple months. I think there was a couple guys could never nail down a time to do it or whatever. But anyway, it was 5 debates, and I was lucky enough to win every one of them. It was a vote system. So anyway, it came in the mail today, so I thought I would share it. I got my got the debate belt here, and pretty proud of it actually. So anyway, pretty cool, right? Thanks, Dart. So in this video here, again, I always hear the stuff that's somehow negative about Michael Jordan, whatever it is. And one that I heard yesterday was about, Jordan couldn't win 50 games without Scottie Pippen. I'm like, man, the simple-mindedness. I don't know if people just repeat what they hear on the media, or these things just kind of take a life of their own, and people just take it all as gospel. They just eat it up. It's like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Jordan couldn't win without Pippen. Like anything they can grab onto, they're going to do it. So in this video, I'm going to show specifically how ridiculous that is, and it's going to get exposed big time. So anybody who wants to hold on to the Jordan couldn't win without Pippen narrative, I'm getting ready to blow a hole through your stupid narrative. So get ready. All right. So starting all the way back in 1980, okay? 1980 East, the schedule was set up to where you played the teams. This would go from 1980 through 1988, those 9 seasons. The schedules were set up where the year before, actually in 1979, I guess I should mention that, from 1979, everybody in the league 4 times each. That's how it was. It was just an even split, 4 times each, no matter east, west, didn't matter. But they changed it in 1980. You played the teams in your division 6 times each. You played the teams in the other division, but still in your conference 5 times each. And then the other conference, you just played twice a year. That's it. And I think that's how Lakers are able to rack up all those wins and stuff. But so in 1980, Boston was 61-21, Philly was 59-23. There was only one team in the East that had between 47 and 57 wins. Okay, and you're thinking, well, what's the big deal? What's that matter? Well, there's a lot of teams, don't you think, that usually rack up between 47 and 57. I mean, look at the NBA's West last year. I think there was like 9 or 10 teams that had that many win totals. One. Why? Because if you were a good team, you played these weak, you played the weak teams 6, 5 times each, whatever. But if you're a 61-win Boston and you're playing a team that's like, a 40-win team or whatever, you're just going to keep beating them over and over and over, no matter what. So it's hard for the teams to really get wins because they play each other so many times. There was a bunch of teams in that, 35 to 40 win window. The one team, Milwaukee, was 50-32. That was the only team that managed to do it. The West had 4 that won between 47 and 57 because the talent was, it was more, comparable. It was more, more parity. In 81, there was only one team. In 82, one team. You get the point, okay? But in Michael Jordan's rookie year in 1985, there were no teams between 47 and 57 wins. No team in the league at all. The best 3 teams were Boston at 63-19, Milwaukee at 59-23, and Philly at 58-24. So again, they're playing everybody in their division 6 times, everybody in the other division 5 times, and everybody in the West twice each. That's it. So they were able to rack up pretty impressive wins. So Jordan comes in there in 85, and the players on some of these teams, like those are the top 3 teams. The 4th best team was Detroit at 46-36. Okay, they're 5 games, over 5. Well, they're 10 games over 500, but they had Bill Laimbeer, who was an All-Star that season, Isaiah Thomas, who finished 9th for MVP, first team All-NBA, Kelly Tripucka, who was an All-Star the year before, Dan Roundfield, who was a 3-time All-Star, 5-time All-Defensive player, John Long giving you 15 points a game. You had Vinnie Johnson coming off the bench giving you 13. That's a pretty good team. 46 wins, that's it. How about the New Jersey Nets? 42-40. That's all they were. They had Buck Williams, 18.2 points per game, 12.3 rebounds. He made All-NBA once, 4-time All-Defense, a 3-time All-Star, won Rookie of the Year. Then you also had Michael Ray Richardson. And at that time, this guy was legit. He was a 3-time steals leader, 1-time assist leader, 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-Defense. In that season, he averaged 20.1 points per game, 8.2 assists, 5.6 rebounds, and 3 steals a game. Then you had the 3rd best player, Otis Birdsong, giving you 20.6 points per game on 51.1% shooting. How good was he? 4-time All-Star and a 1-time All-NBA. And then you had Mike Kaminsky, who was the center, pretty good player, 12.8 points, 8 rebounds a game. All right. They're barely 500. Washington, they're under 500, 40-42. Now, I don't know if you guys don't know who these players are, you should research them, or just take me at my word then that these are solid, good players. Jeff Ruland, he was an all-star, the center, giving you 19 points and 11.1 rebounds. Gus Williams, giving you 20 points, 7.7 assists. He was a 2-time all-star, 2-time All-NBA. He was the leading scorer on the 1979 Seattle Supersonics world champion team. Jeff Malone giving you 18.9 points per game. He's a 2-time All-Star. So your number 4 option is Cliff Robinson, not to be confused with the guy on Portland in the 90s, giving you 16.7, 9.1 rebounds. This is a guy who's giving you 15 to 19 points for the whole decade of the 80s. A solid player. He's your number 4 option. Your number 5 option was Greg Ballard, giving you 13.1, 6.5 rebounds. He was giving you between 14.5 and 19 points from 1980 to 84. That's your 5th option. And then, for good measure, a guy coming off the bench, Rick Mahorn, giving you only 6.3 and 8 rebounds a game. But, Rick Mahorn was a big part of that 89 Detroit championship team. Anyway, these were good teams. Why couldn't they get 47, 48, 50 wins? Because of the scheduling. They had to play these teams so much. And then they had to play the other teams that were close to their level a lot of times too. So you split with them. You lose a bunch of the upper echelon teams. You do what you do with the West. Some of the teams you do good, some bad. There's just not the capability. There's not enough bad teams in the league like there is today to rack up those wins. So, yeah, Michael Jordan went 38-44. In 1987... And believe me, I'm getting to the Scottie Pippen thing. This all is relative. Just hang in there with me. 1987, Jordan comes back off the injury. Don't even include 86 because he barely played. I think he started like 5-6 games in the whole season. So in 87, he comes back. It's the same setup. Boston's 59-23. Atlanta 57-25. In his division, Atlanta won 57 games, Detroit 52 games, and Milwaukee 50 games. And Milwaukee finished 3rd in the division. Here's who they had on their team. Terry Cummings, perennial All-NBA player. Ricky Pierce, who made All-Stars. Jack Sikma, who's in the Hall of Fame. Paul Pressey, multiple first-team All-Defenses. John Lucas, who was a very good player. Craig Hodges, very good, one of the best three-point shooters, definitely in that era. And Sidney Moncrief, Hall of Famer, on that team. And they're essentially the fourth best team in the East. I mean, it was stacked. The fifth best team in the league in the East was Philly. They had Dr. J. Now, he was on his last season, but he's still giving you like 17 points a game, hardly on his last leg. Charles Barkley, now firmly an all-star, one of the top 12, 15 players in the league. Maurice Cheeks, another Hall of Famer. So they got three Hall of Famers. They're the fifth best team in the East. Then you got Washington again, except this time you got Jeff Malone giving you 22 points a game. He's an all-star. Moses Malone giving you 24.1 and 11.3 boards. He's a second-team All-NBAer. This team was loaded, and they're the sixth best team in the NBA. I mean, give me a break. Most of the All-Stars was, I think Boston had 3 All-Stars, Atlanta had 2, Detroit had 2, Milwaukee had 2, Philly had 3, and Washington had 2. All the All-Stars were on like 6 teams. That's how it was. Top-heavy league, hard to win. So the Bulls, 40-42, somehow, they were the 7th best team in the league. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry, they're the 8th best team. Their starting lineup was their top 6 positional players: Michael Jordan, Charles Oakley, John Paxson, Gene Banks, Dave Corzine, and Brad Sellers. That's your starting 6. You're going to go up against the Celtics, the Hawks, the Pistons, and the Bucks. Come on. You guys are being ridiculous if you really believe that Jordan should have went up against these guys. Okay, now in 88, the East wasn't quite as strong. The Bulls won 50 games. Scottie Pippen's on the team now. Some dude said, oh, Jordan couldn't win 50 without Pippen. Pippen averaged 7.9 points per game. He played 20.9 minutes per game. And Horace Grant actually played more minutes than he did. He was only giving you 7.7, both off the bench. Now, the 88 team that they won 50 games in was almost the same thing. You had Michael Jordan, Charles Oakley, Dave Corzine, Brad Sellers, John Paxson, and Sam Vincent. Those are your top 6 minutes played. Then you got Grant and Pippen, okay? Fair enough. Well, Scottie Pippen got you 2.3 win shares. So in other words, he accounted for 2 wins on the season himself. That's your can't win without Scottie Pippen nonsense. 2.3 win shares. That's what his win share was, 2.3. Look it up, 1988, his rookie year. On offense, negative 0.4 win shares for Pippen on offense. That's how great he was. And he had the second highest usage rate on the team at 20%. Go look that up. Unbelievable, right? Okay. 1989, the next year. So Pippen gets more playing time. He's now a starter. Okay. He's averaging 33.1 minutes, giving you 13 more minutes a game. He's averaging 14.4 points and 6.1 rebounds. So you're thinking, okay, that's pretty good. Horace Grant, too. He's up to 12 points, 8.6. He's playing 35 minutes, even more than Pippen. So their team now was Michael Jordan, Horace Grant, Scottie Pippen. They got Bill Cartwright instead of Oakley, which is basically a wash. Sam Vincent, Craig Hodges, John Paxson, Brad Sellers, Dave Corzine. They got all these players, right? Well, then how did they go from 50 wins in 88 to 47 wins in 89 with Pippen playing more playing time and giving you another 6.5 points a game? Explain it. I'm all ears. I can tell you why, but you guys don't want to understand the facts. You don't want to go through the details, the context. That's poison to you guys. You just want to keep going with the narrative. Well, it was also an expansion year. You guys always talk about, oh, expansion, watered down. Okay, great. Keep the same energy because Charlotte and Miami is now in the league. Orlando is in their division. The Bulls were 6-1 against expansion teams, right? So that means that they were 41-34 against everybody else. Okay? If you took the expansion teams out and they had to just randomly play the rest of the league, They were on pace to win 44.8 games. Would have been about, so call it 45 wins. If it wasn't for expansion, the Bulls would have won 45 games in 1989. Okay? That's 5 less than in 88. And Pippen's playing more. He's got a more central role now. What happened? Well, what happened was the East got pretty damn tough. And in their division, okay? In the Central Division, in 89, you got a Detroit team who's 63-19. You got Cleveland who's 57-25. You got Atlanta who's 52-30. You got Milwaukee who's 49-33. And then you got the Bulls at 47-35 in 5th place in the Central. That's why the schedule had nothing to do with Scottie Pippen. They did better in 88 when Pippen played less minutes. So it doesn't correlate because the schedule is a little softer in 88. They didn't have this tough of a division. The Atlantic Division, they had the Knicks won 52 games and the 76ers won 46 games. You know, 2 pretty good teams. But it was all, and Larry Bird was out. They didn't even have to deal with Larry Bird. Boston was a 42-40 team that year. Imagine if Bird was in there. How many do you think they would have won? Exactly. You guys just don't have brains. You don't want to bother with the truth or the research. You don't want to do all that. You just want to follow the narrative because it makes Jordan look bad. Anything to bring Jordan down. You'll grab on that narrative. I mean, it's just the silliest thing. It's so easy to fact check and just do the work. You'll figure it out. I mean, it's just so stupid. So in 1990, there were 3 teams in the East because now there's 4 expansion teams between 89 and 90. There was 3 teams in the East that had 17 to 18 wins. So the Bulls go from 47 in 89 to 55 in 1990. They got 8 games better. They played the teams in the Central 5 times each, the other division 4 times each, and the West twice each. Well, the best teams in the conference, the top 4, Detroit, still the best team at 59-23, the Bulls, and then Philly, and it was 53-29, and Boston at 52-30. So the Bulls really only had one 50-win team in their division now. So, or at least over 50 wins. So the division definitely took a hard back seat. So this stuff is just so easy to debunk. You guys are fools. Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant were very good players. I'm never going to say they're not. Horace Grant was a really nice player. He's a role player, but not a star, but a very good player. No doubt about it. A key player. Scottie Pippen, a Hall of Famer. He deserves it. He was a very good player. I'm never going to say he wasn't. But he just gets too much credit. If you're talking about Pippen was the reason that they started winning. It had a combination to do with, Pippen's ascension in development, no doubt about it. Horace Grant's ascension in development because he basically just took over Charles Oakley's role, and then they gained Bill Cartwright. And then also in 1990, they got B.J. Armstrong. I know he's basically was a role player, but still, they're building the nucleus of a championship team right there. You're not going to build it with Brad Sellers, Sam Vincent, Dave Corzine, Quentin Daly, Kyle Macy, all these other guys that were on Jordan's team. They're not those kind of players. But once they got all them and they got playing time, and even before Phil Jackson with Doug Collins, I still say they would have done the same thing with Doug Collins or pretty damn close because he was a good coach too. And it actually was in 89 that Collins got Jordan to start sharing the ball more. If you look at his stats, he got more rebounds and more assists because he was playing point guard and he was the one distributing more. But anyway, I mean, it's just such a dumb, stupid narrative, so easy to debunk. It all has more to do with the schedule and how tough the teams were than how good Pippen was at a 7.9 points per game rookie. It's just so dumb. I don't understand why anybody would fall for that unless you just believe everything you hear and take it as gospel. All it was is a coincidence that Pippen was there and they won 50 games. Pippen's not there. They're still probably winning 50 games. He accounted for 2.3 win shares. You bring in an average player off the, out of the NBA who would have took Pippen's place at a 6th or a 7th man. He's also going to get you about 2.3 win shares. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Just the dumbest thing ever. But anyway, like I said, this blows a hole in your theory all the way. It's ridiculous. They actually went 3 games worse the next year when Pippen played more minutes. Make it make sense. Go ahead. Tell me how it made sense. Had nothing to do with the fact that the Bulls had 4 teams in front of them between 49 and 63 wins in their division that they had to play 5 times each. That had nothing to do with it. No. I mean, come on. Pippen, they lost 3 games less the next year when he was now a starter. So it doesn't make sense for your theory. 88, he comes in, they win 50 as a rookie coming off the bench. 89 as a starter, they win 47 with 2 expansion teams in the league now. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's stupid. So just say, yeah, Pippen was a key contributor, no doubt. But by no means was he the reason that the Bulls were, winning. He wasn't accounting for 10, 12 wins like you people are, insinuating. It's just stupid, silly argument. Anyway, I'm sorry I got fired up there. I did ramble a bit, but it's just ridiculous that people just won't do the research and look at the facts that are right in front of you. It's not the same schedule as it's been, in the last 20 years or whatever it's been. The schedules were different back then. That's why the 80s were so top heavy. That's why, like I said, there wasn't many teams that were getting high 40s into the mid 50s in wins. Either you were getting way over or you were staying under because of the scheduling, because the way it was. You didn't have all these 30 teams spread out. No, it was a 22, and then a 23 team league until 89. So anyway, that's all I got for this video. As always, thanks for watching, and until next time.